Great job. Great job. It's good to be with you guys again. It has been, I think I was here on one of the May dates for Summer in the Psalms, so it's good to be here close to the end. You guys have almost made it through the Summer in the Psalms, the 12-month journey of Seeker Church, Summer in the Psalms. So, listen. Today, one of the reasons I was given this topic, for most of you, you know I work for an organization called Thrivent, all right, which is a faith-based finance company that leads really the world in benevolence and generosity, and we help people of faith use what God has given them to change the world. And so, yes, we talk about money. Yes, we work on portfolios, all that stuff. But we don't do it just so people accumulate and just so people grow. We do it so that they have those things to make a difference in the lives of the people around them and in the causes they care about. I want to point out two people, Kyle and Kayla Taylor. Kyle and Kayla, everybody wave. These are two of our advisors. Many of you, they are your advisors. And if you have not been to their new office, just right down the road on Robinson, you got to go check out their new office. So if you need any help with anything finances, which we are going to talk a little bit today about that, you go see those two people. One of my favorite stories about Kayla. So Kayla was the granddaughter of the second church Lisa and I ever worked at in Norman, Oklahoma, Cross Point Church over off Highway 9. And so I went through like a 4-month interview process there. We're not going to get into that today because I would need counseling afterwards. And so after one of my first Sundays there, you had a broken arm. So she had done so, had a broken arm, and we're out in the foyer, and I was doing something in the service, and her grandma brought her up, and she goes, Kayla just went down to the front and prayed for you and Lisa, that your ministry here would be good. She's so happy that you're here, all that. And I was like, man, a little junior high gal, like praying for me, praying for my wife. And then like 2 months later, once I had been there, I was like, well, Kayla, how's it going? She's like, my prayer didn't work. I don't know what's up, but we got more. I got to keep doing that. And so, but sweetheart Kayla, I have known her forever and ever. Kyle, you're a sweetheart as well. So we're going to talk about thriving today. Now, the word thriving, as we're talking about this, we're gonna kind of sit in two camps. We're going to talk about spiritually thriving. Okay, what does that look like? What does a real like spiritually thriving life look like? And then we're going to talk about, with the topic of thrive and thriving, Russ wanted me to talk about money a little bit. So we're going to talk about that too. What does that look like when you're thriving financially? And really, not so much financially, it's what you're doing with your finances that really is the grade on whether or not you're thriving. It's not how much you have, it's what you do with what you have. And so today is not going to be about having more, and the psalm we're going to look like is going to be real transparent on that. It's not going to be about how much you have, how much you can get, how much you've done, how much you know. It's about using what you have to leave a legacy, to do something different, to have an impact in someone's life. So definition of thrive. Actual definition and Phil's definition. First definition, characterized by success or prosperity. That was a great logo, like an arrow going up. Things are going good. So that's Phil's definition really is if you're thriving in whatever area, marriage, business, church, career, things are going good. Okay, upward trajectory, things are going up and to the right. Now, what does it look like to be thriving spiritually? I put some like check marks. If I were to ask you, what does that look like? I think some of the common answers, like reading your Bible, attending church, serving others, being a part of a discipleship group or a Bible study or a small group, tithing, listening to worship music. How many of you do one of those, some of those, sometimes, all the time? Raise your hand. You're in church right now, so you should raise your hand. Yeah. I gave you one. All right, you got one today already. Okay, so listen, a lot of people would say, yeah, that's a good list. That's a good summarization of what we feel, what it looks like to follow Jesus, follow Christ, have a thriving life. But let's just be honest. I've met a lot of people that check a lot of those boxes. And if I ask them, how's your spiritual life? How are things with Jesus? How do you feel? How do you think things are going? The answer would be, not good, not positive, not thriving. So we can do a lot of the things that we want to say, yeah, those are healthy things, good things, not bad things at all, but we can things and still not feel, still not have confidence that we have a thriving, healthy, exciting spiritual life. And I think many of us have been in seasons like, you may be in a season like that right now, where you're like, Phil, I pray, I read, I do this, I do that, but yeah, I'm not really feeling the spiritual mojo. I'm not feeling like I'm doing a lot in my life to do, like to check a lot of the boxes and make a lot of things happen. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to check out Psalm 49. And listen, I'm going to give you the theme right now. So if you need to leave, I'm going to give you the theme right, and then you can just go. You can go, thanks, Phil. I'll watch the recording. But really, here's the theme of Psalm 49. This is not a popular psalm, okay? And Psalm 49, what we're about to trek through, is really going to give us the antithesis of thriving. It's going to give us the don't do these things of thriving. It's not going to give us like a list or anything. It's going to give us an example of a life wasted, of a life that's empty, of a life that is not making an impact, a life that is not leaving a legacy. And so a thriving life, opposite of the world, it's not about accumulating wealth and accumulating wisdom and getting your name out there more and more, and getting prestige, and having a platform, and having a stage. None of those things are bad, but if that is your journey, where all your energy is going, and all that you're consumed about, your life is a vain, empty life. If that is the journey you're going on, it's an empty journey. If that's the path you're following, it's an empty path. And so what Psalm 49 is stating is, listen, if all you're going for is more and more and more, and you're not concerned with other people, and you're not concerned with your legacy, and you're not concerned with actually making an impact and a difference, you've missed the mark. You're doing it wrong. You're not thriving. Now, the world would tell us, well, great. You got more money, people know you, getting more popular, look at the next degree you got the promotion, the world would tell you you're in the sweet spot. You've got it all going for you. But the world's definition and God's definition are not the same. They are not the same. And so for us as Christ followers, if you would label yourself as that today, and you follow Jesus and you want to be an impactful, passionate follower of the Son of God, of Jesus Christ, you need to know the difference. And you need to really self-evaluate and look and go, which path am I on? Which path consumes me more? Where does my mental energy just fall to? Is it accumulating and gathering, becoming bigger and bigger, and there's no impact, there's no change, there's nothing happening to anyone else other than you? Or are you really following Jesus and there's a ripple effect to your life? Like it's changing the lives of others. It's infecting your family and your community and your church and the people around you. That is what we're looking for today. Now, before we even get into the psalm, Jesus talked about this type of life, this type of kind of focus, and it's in Matthew 25, verses 34 to 40, and he says this. He says, "Then the king will say to those on his right, 'Come, you who are blessed by my Father, take your inheritance, the kingdom prepared for you since the creation of this world. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me.' Then the righteous will answer him, 'Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink? When did we see a stranger and invite you in, or needing clothes and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and go to visit you?' And the king will reply, 'Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me.'" And so he's talking about this kind of parable story of this inheritance, and the king's talking, and he's saying, listen, you're going to have all these things. You're going to have this inheritance. But if you don't help those who need help, you're missing it. You're missing it. If you just stay up in your castle and you just get the things you want, and you got another pair of shoes, but they've got no food, and you got another subscription to another streaming service like your 12th because of the one show you can't watch, and they don't have a coat, like you're missing it. You're missing it, you're missing it, you're missing it. And so Psalm 49, the psalmist, listen, I talked when I came in May, there's different kinds of psalms. Do you remember, I thought there's a lamenting psalm, a psalm with like sorrow. There's a prophetic psalm, psalms that kind of point to Jesus a little bit. This one's got a little bit in there. We'll read that. There's praise psalms, okay, psalms that just give God praise. Okay, then there are psalms of warning psalms like, don't do this, like this is bad. So this has a little bit of prophecy and a whole bunch of warning. All right, so this isn't, I've watched Russ do some of the psalms, some of the praise psalms you guys have went through, and the prophetic psalms, and those are hopeful, and they look, this one's kind of more of a warning, okay? So I'm just telling, like I didn't pick a chipper one, all right? So get your energy drinks, your caffeine, or whatever, like you're gonna be like, man, this is a little dreary. It is a little dreary, okay? But it's a good reminder to us as to what thriving truly looks like in our lives, and like. So we're going to take this in like 3 to 6 verse chunks and kind of go through, read a little, stop, read a little, stop. So we're going to start in verse 5, go through verse 9. Here's what it says in Psalm 49. Why should I fear when the evil days come, when wicked deceivers surround me, those who trust in their wealth and boast of their great riches? No one can redeem the life of another or give to God a ransom for them. The ransom for a life is costly. No payment is ever enough. So they should live on forever and not see decay. So he's saying, listen, a lot of people are going to try to bargain with God. And they're going to try to say, well, look at what I've done. Look at what I have. Look at the power I've accrued. And if I'd like to pay for eternity. I'd like to pay for blessing. I'd like to pay for the goodness of God that we just sang about. And the psalmist is saying, you can't afford it. There's nobody with that amount of wealth around that can go to God and go, hey, God, I know, you've created everything, but I've got a lot. And I'd like to put in a deposit for eternity. And you see the little prophetic part here in the psalm where he goes, the cost for a life is what it's expensive. It's expensive to redeem a life. So expensive that God would send his son to die on the cross for that. That's the actual cost. You don't have that in your bank account. You don't have that amount of money and moolah and cash. So you can't get there. You can't gain eternity. You can't gain God's blessing. You can't pay for that. You can't put it on the credit card. Verses 10 through 12. For all can see that the wise, those who have accrued information, that the foolish and the senseless also perish, leaving their wealth to others. Their tombs will remain, their houses forever, their dwellings for endless generations. Though they had named lands for themselves, people, despite their wealth, do not endure. They are like beasts that perish. So the psalmist says, listen, there's really, really smart people, and then there's not so smart people. And they all go to the same place. They all go to the same place. Their tombs will be where they rest forever. Their physical bodies will be there forever and ever. And then it says, listen, some of you guys got some things named after you. Like you're so prestigious. You've got lands that are named after you. Does anyone have a street named after them or any pop? I'm lucky. I've got the Philippines. And so done. So pretty popular guy over there because I'm 3 feet taller than everybody in that kind of some white shack is what they call me. So cool, you got that. Great. Guess what? When you're done, the sign doesn't go with you. You don't get to go to heaven and the Lord goes, hey, we're going to do a street after you too, bud, up here. Great. No. Everybody goes to the same spot. And he even relates it to beasts. And you're going to see that. He's going to end the psalm with the same quote. He goes, you're basically just like an animal. Once Fofo, Fido, or whatever, once they're done, they go on the ground, and that's where you're going to. So once again, what does thriving look like? If you can get all the stuff that the world says to get, so what's a good life actually look like? What's a thriving life actually look like? Verses 15 through 19. But God will redeem me from the realm of the dead. He will surely take me to himself. Do not be overawed when others grow rich, when the splendor of their houses increase. For they will take nothing with them when they die. Splendor will not descend with them. Though while they live like they count themselves blessed, and people praise you when you prosper, they will join those who have gone before them, who will never again see the light of life. So he's saying, listen, God's got me. He's going to redeem me. Like I know the Lord. Don't be comparing, and don't be so overwhelmed when you see everyone else living by the world's standards and having success. Because we like to compare. Well, they've got this, and they live like this, and they do this, and this is what they drive. They got the promotion. Actually, there was something in our work this week where kind of East United States, I had two of my friends going for the same job, and they've been calling me for the past month. Like, what do you think? What do you think? I was like, I love both of you, and I hope they promote both of you. And that won't happen. And one of you will get it, and one of you don't. And the guy who actually didn't get it, he sent me a text the day before. He's like, man, I am so nervous. I'm so charged up. I was like, hey, you know what's going to happen tomorrow? You're either going to get it or you're not. You've done everything you can do. And if you don't get it, you're still one of the best dudes I know. You do great work. You're a great husband. You're a great father. He actually went through homelessness, like high school, college, had some stuff with parents and lived on the, like you have traversed so much in your life. Whether you get it or you don't get it, that doesn't dictate who you are. I know you hope you get it. I hope everything turns out, but you're going to be just fine. But he was consumed with this I got to get the promotion. Well, what if you don't? You don't change who you are. Your values, your morals, your character, your journey, your life, what's important to you. I didn't grow up in church, so by the time I was introduced to church and church music, I was teenager, really college, and so I didn't grow up in the hymns era. And so if you grow up at a church, anyone grow up listening to hymns? Okay, cool. So when I got into it, I was older, and hymns were somewhat phasing out, and kind of the new music was kind of getting, and I would listen to these hymns. Not my style, I'll just say that. Like I would be there, and they're like, turn to page 4,235. I was like, that many? We got that many? All right, good job, people from 1930. Hey, they didn't have smartphones. There wasn't a lot to do. They wrote songs, okay? So, we flipped to that hymn, and very quickly I noticed something. One, totally different language. A lot of words in there. I was like, I'm still not sure what Beulah land is. And so a lot of words in there. But two, Kyle laughs because he saw it coming. He knows it. But secondly, if you sing and look at hymns, the vast majority are talking about heaven, eternity, where we're going. A lot of our songs now, they'll focus on God's character or what God does in our life, and that's all fine. That's all good. But so many hymns aren't talking about right now. They talk about what's to come, where we will go. And so I'd be sitting there, and it's about heaven and golden streets and this and that, and da-da-da-da. Next song, it's about our future and being in the presence of God and angels singing. Okay, and I'm like, man, and I just thought, okay, we just sing about heaven. Like, that's all we do. And it's not, but when you look at hymns, I'll say they do look at the legacy, the trajectory of our lives, not just the here and now. And what the author is saying, listen, the people who accumulate wealth and wisdom and are consumed with that and consumed with building their platform and their portfolio and their prestige and all that, that's great. They're not really thinking ahead. Like, God is going to redeem my life, and I will be with God one day. And all these other people are so consumed with the here and now, they're not going to leave a legacy. They're going to go to the grave. Their money's going to move on. And they're not going to do anything for future generations. To continue the gospel, to continue to push the story of God, to have their wealth do something for future generations. They are consumed with the here and now. The psalmist ends with this. Verse 20, people who have wealth but lack understanding, and that's really understanding of how to use it and how to really make it thrive and do great things, are like beasts that perish. They're no different. They're no different than an animal. They have great wealth, but they don't know what to do with it, and they're not going to change anything. You want to know what thriving is? There's really just two things. It's not going to be up on the screen. This is your grab hold of it. We're going to go through how to do it, but a thriving life is twofold. It's a life of impact and a life of legacy. It's a life of impact and a life of legacy. You can accumulate all you want. I hope that you do. And take me out to lunch. Do it. But if you don't take what you've been given, if you don't take what you've learned, if you don't take your gifts and talents that you've been given and make an impact and a ripple effect for future generations, you have wasted your time. You have wasted your time. Not by the world's standards. People outside these walls, they would tell you you did a good job, you did what you're supposed to, all this kind. But if you want your life to mean something, to do something, impact and legacy. Impact and legacy. There are so many passive lives right now. They have great bank accounts, great titles, a great schedule, great freedom, all of that. No impact, no legacy. If you want a thriving life, impact and legacy. Impact, you got to do something now, and those nows have to affect later. That's what a thriving life looks like. And the psalmist in Psalm 49 is just making it a little too transparent, maybe a little too aggressive, maybe a little too gloomy, but he's just saying, yeah, get all you want to get. Do all you want to do. But we're all going to the same place. Our lives are all going to end the same way. And if you don't do something else, it's going to be a waste. You'll have the same impact as the puppy dog and the 12 cats that Megan has, and all. You'll have that, and it won't do anything. Legacy and impact. Those are the two things. So what does that need to look like? I want to kind of just end and sit and soak in these two things and give a few examples and some time for some self-reflection. So thriving today, what does this look like? The first thing, build your wealth and wisdom to change the world to be more like Jesus today and tomorrow. Build your wealth and your wisdom right now to change the world to be more like Jesus right now, today, and legacy tomorrow. So whatever you've been given, you use it to change the world, to be like Jesus. I was talking to my boss. We have this big presentation Wednesday in Dallas, so we're kind of working on what is he going to say, what am I going to say, and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, well, I'm going to talk about my grandpa. And I was like, that's cool, I guess. Like, I don't know, we're going down for a specific reason, but yeah, let's talk about our grandpas. But he goes, no, here's the story. And he tells me the story of Grandpa Linehan. And he goes, there was this 3-word phrase that he repeated to all his grandchildren, and they all still say it today. And it was, they would come in and, Grandpa, here's what I'm doing at school, here's what I'm doing in sports, here's this, that, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And the grandpa would sit across, and he goes, that's great, Michael, that's great. But he goes, you know what you got to do? You got to make something happen. Make something happen. You've got this opportunity, make something happen. Do something. Don't squander the opportunity. Don't be just happy that you have an opportunity, but make something happen. So you have these resources, you have this talent, you have this gift, you have this opportunity, you have this wealth, you have this wisdom, you have this, whatever you have, Michael, make something happen. Don't let it pass. Don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Make something happen. And our AAU basketball season just closed out last week. So you guys know I coach basketball. And so we had a long AAU season. We went to the national tournament in Wichita, Kansas last week. Did really, really good. Proud of my boys. And one of the things I tell all our boys, we've got the boys who, they're a little bit better than the others, and it is what it is. And, some score, and they get all the glory because they can hit a bucket, and others don't. But I have something very similar. What I tell my boys when I coach, is you have to contribute something to the game. So if you're not scoring, you've got to play defense. And if you're not playing defense, you better rebound. And if you're not rebounding, you better be diving on the floor. And if you're not diving on the floor, you better be the best communicator out there. And if you are mute, I don't know why I have you on my team, but if you're mute, and so I try to point out all these different areas that they could do something to impact the game. They think, well, if I don't score, then I didn't do anything. And I'm like, oh, no. And I'll point out things. Do you remember when so-and-so did this? Yeah. That was a 4-point swing. Like one kid, it was a really close game. They missed a shot. The rebound was going. We had no one on that side to rebound. One of our little guards, I see him sprinting from the top of the key down, and he can't really get to the ball, but he just goes and he spikes it out of bounds. So the other guy can't get it. They've got to throw it in. They turn it over. We go down and score. So not only did he prevent them from a very easy, what looked like to be 2 points, but then we got the turnover, we went down and we scored 2 points. For you math majors, that's a 4-point swing, okay? But nobody looked at that play and said, oh, Caden, like glad he spiked that out of bounds, but he's just like, I know I can't give the ball to him. He contributed to the game. You know how much he scored that game? 0. We won by, guess what? 4 points. No, you can't win by 0. So, it's called a tie. It's all right. I will use my wisdom to help you, buddy. No, we won by 4. We won by 4. Make something happen. Contribute to the game. So, self-reflection time here. What are you doing? What are you doing with your kingdom gifts? Money, talent, passion, like all the things. You don't have to be the leading scorer, but what are you doing? And listen, Sunday morning's great. Some of you serve on Sunday, that's great. Outside of this, what are you doing to impact so that there's a legacy? Like don't yell it out. But if you're having a hard time finding an answer, Psalm 49 is talking to you. Like the psalmist is going, okay, like get up out of the chair. Let's go. Let's do something. Find a passion. Find an opportunity. Find something, like go. Make it happen. Make something happen. So what are you doing to impact your community, your family, your culture, people? God's giving you something. Maybe you have wealth. Great. What are you doing with that wealth? Who are you feeding and clothing and loving and helping and healing? Like what are you doing with what you've been given? If you can't answer that, I'm going to put them on the spot. Like, you need to talk to your pastor. You need to come talk to me. You need to go talk to a mentor, best friend who you trust, who you know, like they're heading in the right direction with the Lord. And you need to sit down and go, I need some direction, some help. I need, like here's my thoughts. You need to pray about it. You need to pray. You just need to sit down with the Lord and go, Lord, I got to make something happen. With the time I have, with the resources, I got to make something happen. What does that look like for me? And you know what? It's probably like, it's not going to look like everybody else. That's fantastic. You will fill a void in the life of somebody else that no one else is filling. You will do something with the talent you have that I don't have. I can't do what you do. I don't know who you know. I don't have your wisdom and your experience. So it may be something, and you have no other trek to kind of copy and paste, and it's something totally different that the Lord's calling you to. That's fantastic. Go do something to change the world to be more like Jesus today and tomorrow. Last point, the present is important, but don't live just for the present, but with eyes on eternity. The present is important, we just talked about it, but don't live just for the present, but with eyes on eternity, legacy living. What if you didn't eat lunch today and you gave that money to feed someone else without food? what would be the real ramifications of that? You'd be hungry for a little while longer, and I believe everyone in here probably has the resources. You'd eat a couple hours later. Today is not coat season right now, but in the winter, you're walking around, you see someone without a jacket, and you give one, most of us have another one at home. So you'd be cold for a little while, but not forever. Like, what are you doing to leave a legacy, change a life, so that somebody has a moment now, and that moment could change the trajectory of their lives, the legacy of their family, a cycle that they've never been able to break out of? This past Father's Day, we gave Dave and my dad a gift. I don't know if they liked it. To be real honest, I found this thing and it was cool, and there was a version of it on Shark Tank. I did not give the Shark Tank one, but basically it's a book, and it says like Grandpa Tells Your Stories, and it's like 200 pages, and it has like different topics, and it's like Grandpa, what's your favorite food? Well, tell us about you and Grandma's first date. Hey, Grandpa, what's your favorite hobbies? Grandpa, where place? Just memories, moments, so that one day we'll have that book. That book is not for Grandpa. It's not. Like, it's actually homework for Grandpa, which is why I think they both didn't really like it. But grandpas, they got time. Okay, that's one of the blessings. What do you have right now? They got some time. Because Grandpa, I want to read these one day with my kids and your grandkids. I want you to read. I want my great-grandkids. I want to know. I want your legacy to move way past your, like years and years. We want to be talking about Grandpa and sharing these stories, pearls of wisdom, experience, all these great things about Grandpa. But journal it, Grandpa. It's going to be some work, but journal it. We want to know. We want to remember. We want to celebrate. We want to laugh. We want to cry. We want to have a good time. Tell us your stories, Grandpa. We want to know your legacy. Little bit looking forward. One of the biggest Christian artists right now is a guy named Forrest Frank. How many people know Forrest Frank? Yeah, Forrest Frank, pretty popular dude. Me and Bryson got to go see him April, May, something like that in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll be honest, I may have talked about him last time I was here. One of the most God-honoring concerts I've ever seen. There were little kids, there were teenagers, there were college kids, there were adults, there were seniors, all praising the Lord. I came home, I'm just like, man, pray for this guy, because this guy is making a kingdom. You want to know what does it look like to make an impact and legacy? Go to a Forrest Frank concert. It is amazing, amazing, amazing. Here's the deal about Forrest, if you don't know Forrest. When he started in the music business, he was having a lot of success in the secular, non-Christian realm, and it was clean music, it was fine, but he was just doing different things, and he was having some success, and it came to the point where the Lord was really burdening him and saying, hey, I really want you to just be totally 100% faith-focused. And he's kind of like, okay, he's growing in his faith, and he's thinking about it, and right about that time, he gets a contract for millions of dollars with this company to stay in the secular realm. Same time. So he's praying over, Lord, what would you have me do with the gifts, talents, opportunities, platforms I have, and millions of dollars. Woo, man, tough decision. How many of you would like to at least have that decision? Yeah, man, tell me how tough that was, Forrest. Tell me how tough, I got to decide between a gift card and a coupon. That's my financial decision. And you're like, millions of dollars or whatever. And so he did not accept the contract. He said, God wants me to do this. I don't know what, I don't have any albums out. He was actually under a little group. His name, nobody knew who Forrest Frank was. And he went his own path. He was like, I'm going to honor God. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this way. The guy now has had Christian, he'll release just a song at a time. It'll be number one on the charts. Any song in the world. It's number one, selling out concerts. He just broke his back 3 or 4 weeks ago. If you follow him, everyone's praying. 2 weeks after he broke his back, he stood up and he's walking around. He went to the doctor and there were no more fractures in his back. So now he's got that testimony, and he's literally on a stage this week and he's talking about God. I don't know what's happening, guys, but just amazing, 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 amazing Pray for that dude because he's got a great platform. But he is not consumed with the platform. He is not. He makes fun of himself. He is in it to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ now and for generations to come. He is not focused just right now. He's focused on if he had to actually change his venues because so many little kids were coming to his concerts and they had booked him at places that were like 18 and over. And he's like, well, we can't do that. I've got 6-year-olds that know every word to and they want to come and they want to praise Jesus. And they actually had to lose money on the tour and change venues. Because he knows it's more important than whatever money I'm going to make for them to hear the message and to be in the room. Impact and legacy. Impact and legacy. That is what a thriving life looks like. So, my end for you today is, are you making something happen? Grandpa Linehan, make something happen. Like, what does your life look like? And if it's not thriving right now, what a great opportunity you have. What a great moment this is for you to go, all right, I'm taking a left turn. I'm changing directions. I'm doing something new. What a fantastic day this could be. And if you're checking boxes and you're like, Phil, impact, legacy, yeah, grab someone who doesn't have that direction and take them with you. Show them the way. Help them. Give them the roadmap. Tell them the stories. That will be another part of your legacy. Okay? Let's pray. Father, that word thriving has a lot of importance in my life with being at Thriving, kind of our whole philosophy of financial wellness and making an impact. Well, Lord, as it just pertains to life, our spiritual lives and our lives in general, that's the kind of life we want to have. That's the kind of life we want to live. We do not want a stagnant life, a life with no impact, a life that is absent. So, Lord, I pray for each and every one of us that you would give us the opportunities, the platforms, the places, and the people to live a thriving life, to do something that truly impacts others deeper than just practical needs. And so that's great, but Father, we want to have an eternal impact, a lasting impact. We want to leave a legacy. So Father, you've given us, some of us, wealth. Help us use that correctly. You've given some of us wisdom. Help us use that correctly. You've given some of us talents and gifts that are just amazing and so unique. Help us use those correctly so that our lives matter. Matter not to us, but to others. And to others we may never meet this side of heaven. Thank you for sending your son Jesus on the cross. We pray this in his name. Amen. Always a blessing to be here with you. Thank you so much. Always a blessing to do this with we don't get to tag team too much. So that was fun. Thank you guys for being here. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday.